So the first step we're going to look at is accepting what can't be controlled. Now, that has been an issue in my life, all my life, because not only was I trying to control my life, I was trying to control your life and all the circumstances around me. And I was driving myself insane all the time. We cannot control all the circumstances of our life. Life brings us unpredictable challenges all the time. But when we accept what's going on in our life, we begin to cultivate a sense of peace and a sense of calmness. Because if you truly have faith, you understand and know that there's a power and presence. Some of us call God, some of us call spirit, some of us call higher power that is always working for our highest good. When we don't accept what's going on in our life and we try to control it, that is the time when we can become fixated on a situation that we cannot impact, particularly when it has to do with someone else. Now, we don't have to accept behaviors from others that impact us in a negative way. But when we accept the fact that that individual is going to act like that, we can then begin to make a choice of whether or not we're going to continue to stay in that situation or whether or not we're going to distance ourselves from it. Often, we do not accept situations occurring in our lives that we cannot control because we feel that something else has to occur, that what's going on right here is not right. We need to change it. Well, what I say to you is that we can only change ourselves. When I was inside of a marriage that wasn't working, I tried many, many years to change that person, but that didn't work. I had to shift me. I had to accept the circumstances that I was living in and create a different set of circumstances that were more beneficial to my life. There are times when we feel out of control, and it's because we are trying to control the uncontrollable. It is at those times where we can say, you know what? I'm doing the best that I can with what I have. I remember my mother used to always tell me, you make the best decision that you can make in the moment with the information that you have. If you had different information, you could make a different decision. Well, today I understand and know that I spend way too much time looking at old movies, thinking that I could bring that movie into my life today and it's going to be fine. It's not going to be fine. When I came to that realization of how many reruns I've been looking at in my life, with my health, with my finances, with my business, when I looked at that, I realized I had been trying to use past memories and past behaviors to control what was going on in my life today. And all I needed to do was let those old reruns stop running and focus on what was here right in front of me. And when I focus on what is right in front of me, I can see that I'm going to get through this, whatever it is. I might be feeling sad, depressed, or even miserable in the moment, but it will pass. And it's only going to pass if I stop trying to control it and just allow myself to move through it. When I first went into recovery, I was given a prayer called the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. The first line, to accept the things I cannot change. That is the first step I'm talking about. Accepting those things that you cannot change. The second line of the prayer is give me the courage to accept the things that I can change and the wisdom to know the difference. That prayer is something that's plastered on the wall right on the side of my bed because I have to remember that. And now that I realize I've been looking at movies from the past, it's even more important that I remember that. Serenity comes from accepting the things that I cannot change. I cannot change the fact that every year I'm going to be older, but I can have the courage to take on my physical life, changing my eating, changing my exercise, changing who and what I let into my life. And then I can have the wisdom to know the difference between what I can change and what I cannot change. Peace of mind comes from us standing in our life and being present to what is going on right here, right now, and not looking at the past and expecting it to heal whatever situation is going on now. Now, I know I'm not the only one who has gotten stuck in a movie, in a rerun, and just keep running it over and over again, and then allow it to impact today's life. Have you ever made a decision in the past and you know when you made that decision at the time, it was the best decision for you? But then you get here today and all of a sudden you question that decision. And many times we go back and we change the decision today. And then we find out that that original decision was the best one we could make. Well, today, when you begin to understand about those movies and which ones you're watching, you won't go back and second guess yourself because you will be living in the here and now. And you will understand and know that everything is not something that you can change, but you can accept it. And when you accept it, you cultivate peace and tranquility. And you begin to live your life as your best self. And the joy that's already inside of us can begin to come out and we can share it with others. Today is your day to sit down and decide what movie do you really want to watch? Is it a rerun from the past or is it reality of what's going on right here today? I invite you to join me next week when we look at step 2, staying focused on the here and the now. Not allowing ourselves to get trapped in old stories. And yes, we could remember what happened in the past, and we could stand in the present and say, I remember when things used to be that way, but they're this way now. That's what I failed to do when I was at that amazing conference. I failed to stand in the here and now and say, wow, look at this conference. This is amazing of what's going on today in 2024, as opposed to what was going on 37 years ago. I failed to appreciate all that I could have appreciated at the conference because I wasn't present. I want to also invite you to purchase a copy of the book, The Uncrowned Queen Reclaims Her Throne, When a Black Woman Breaks the Silence, and also the journal, the Appreciate Me Journal. That Appreciate Me Journal is a result of me understanding and knowing that every single day I sit and I appreciate 5 things about myself. That is one way I keep myself present to my greatness and I accept who I am today. So I invite you to pick up both of those books. And if you have them, please give them to others. Send that word out. As Black women, it is so powerful when we understand and realize it is our time to speak our truth and break all those traditional stereotypes that have been stuck onto us. We're letting those go. Join me next week when we continue in our series, Cultivating a Peace of Mind. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. I appreciate you and I thank you for joining me today. Blessings.